Shalom, welcome back to the Parsha Zohar series. This week, in the weekly Torah study cycle, we enter Parsha Naso. And Naso is a very powerful word because it does not only mean to count, it means to lift up. It means lift the head, raise the person. Do not reduce a soul into a number. Count them in a way that reveals their dignity. That is already the first Zoharic doorway into this Parsha. The Torah is speaking about the sons of Gershon, the Levites who carry the holy coverings, curtains, screens, and sacred fabrics of the Mishkan. On the surface, it sounds like logistics. Who carries what? Who is responsible for which object? But according to the Zoharic way of seeing, the Mishkan is not just a tent in the wilderness. The Mishkan is the structure of the soul. It is the inner temple of a person. Every covering, every vessel, every burden, every journey is also happening inside us. So when the Torah says, lift the head of the sons of Gershon, it is saying, lift the part of you that carries hidden holiness. Some people carry the ark openly. Some people carry visible leadership, but others carry the curtains. They carry what covers the holy. They protect the boundaries. They hold the atmosphere. They may not be seen, but without them, the sacred space cannot stand. The Zohar opens Naso by moving immediately into the mystery of words, prayer, night, and the soul. It speaks about the soul rising at night and the words of a person being examined. If the words were words of Torah, prayer, truth, and holiness, they rise and become a spiritual witness. But if the words were twisted, harmful, or empty, they also rise and they create a different kind of record. This is very deep. Because Naso is not only about lifting the head, it is about lifting the mouth, lifting speech, lifting the invisible vibration that leaves us every day. The Zohar is teaching that speech is not casual. Words do not disappear after they are spoken. A word is a vessel. A word is a carrier. A word is like a small spiritual messenger that goes out from the mouth and travels through the worlds. So, the first practical teaching of Naso is simple. Before you ask God to live your life, live your speech. Speak less from irritation. Speak less from ego. Speak less from the need to be right. Speak more from blessing. Speak more from clarity. Speak more from inner cleanliness. Then the Torah moves into the purification of the camp. Anyone who carries impurity must be sent outside the camp until purification is complete. Again, on the surface, it sounds like ritual law, but inwardly, the camp is the inner arrangement of the soul. There are things that cannot remain in the center. Resentment cannot sit inside the Holy of Holies. Jealousy cannot be allowed to camp beside the ark. Lust, bitterness, deception, pride, and careless speech cannot be given permanent residence near the divine presence. This does not mean we hate ourselves. It means we order ourselves. The Zoharic path is not self-hatred. It is alignment. It is knowing what belongs in the center, what belongs at the edge, and what needs purification before it can return. This is why Naso is read near Shavuot in many years, and this year the week itself carries the atmosphere of Sivan and the giving of Torah. Shavuot is revelation, but Naso asks a sharper question. After revelation comes down, can your inner camp hold it? Can your nervous system hold blessing? Can your speech hold truth? Can your relationships hold purity? Can your body hold the light without turning it into ego? Then comes the section of the suspected wife, the sotah. This is one of the most difficult passages in the Torah if we only read it externally. But through the mystical lens, it becomes a teaching about hidden fracture, trust, water, bitterness, and truth. The Zoharic mind sees water as a revealer. Water carries memory. Water receives the written word. In this ritual, holy words are dissolved into water, and the hidden state of the relationship is brought into manifestation. Inwardly, the sotah is the part of the soul that has drifted from faithful alignment. It is not only about a woman or a marriage. It is about the soul and the Shechinah. It is about the inner covenant. Have I been faithful to the light inside me? Or have I been seduced by lesser forces? The bitter water is the moment when illusion can no longer hide. Every serious spiritual path eventually brings us to bitter water, a moment where excuses dissolve, a moment where the hidden thing becomes visible, a moment where the soul cannot keep pretending. And if there is truth, the water heals. If there is deception, the same water exposes. That is the power of Torah. The same light that comforts the humble becomes unbearable to the false self. Then the Parsha gives us the Nazir. The Nazir is someone who takes a vow of separation. He avoids wine, does not cut his hair, and does not come into contact with death. This person is not a regular priest, but for a period of time, he enters a priest-like intensity. Mystically, the Nazir is the soul saying, I need a season of consecration. I need to step back from intoxication. I need to let my crown grow. I need to stop touching dead things. And this is very relevant. Sometimes spiritual growth requires separation, not because the world is evil, but because the vessel is being rebuilt. Sometimes you cannot keep drinking from the same noise, the same distractions, the same conversations, the same emotional patterns, and expect your inner crown to become strong. The hair of the Nazir is not random. Hair in Kabbalah is connected with subtle channels. It represents fine extensions of energy, judgment, vitality, and spiritual expression. The Nazir lets the hair grow because the crown is being charged. The head is becoming a vessel. But the Nazir is also temporary. That matters. The goal is not to escape life forever. The goal is to return with a clearer vessel. Separation is holy when it restores the soul. Separation becomes ego when it makes a person proud, cold, or superior. True holiness eventually blesses others. And right after the Nazir, the Torah gives the priestly blessing. This is one of the central mystical moments of Naso. Yevareheha Adonai Veyis Mereha. Yaer Adonai Panav Eleha Vikuneha. Yisa Adonai Panav Eleha Veyasem Leha Shalom. May Hashem bless you and guard you. May Hashem shine his face toward you and be gracious to you. May Hashem lift his face toward you and give you peace. The Zohar goes very deep here. It says the blessing must be given with awe, humility, holiness, love, and a good eye. The priest is not just reciting beautiful words. He becomes a channel. His hands become a vessel. His fingers become symbolic gates. The Shechinah rests upon the hands and blessing flows from above to below. This is why intention matters. A blessing spoken with resentment is not the same as a blessing spoken with love. A blessing spoken with jealousy is not the same as a blessing spoken with a generous eye. The Zohar says, the one who blesses must love the people. And the people must be able to receive that love. The good eye is part of the vessel. This is extremely practical. You can say the right words with a closed heart and transmit very little. Or you can say simple words with a clean heart and something real moves. The Zohar says that when the priest raises his hands, compassion awakens in all the worlds. Judgment is sweetened. Peace spreads. The upper and lower realms are blessed together. That is the secret of Birkat Kohanim. It is not only asking for blessing, it is arranging the worlds so blessing can descend. And this is also why in the Zoharic tradition, Parashat Naso is connected with one of the deepest gatherings of Rabbi Shimon and the companions, the Idra Rabbah, the Great Assembly. The point here is not to turn this teaching into a technical map of hidden names and faces. The point is to feel the atmosphere. Naso is not a small portion. It is a chamber of revelation. It begins with lifting the heads of servants and rises into the mystery of how divine compassion becomes speakable through the worlds. The Idra Rabbah atmosphere says this: when souls gather in purity, when speech is guarded, when ego becomes quiet, deeper light can be revealed. Secrets are not revealed because people are curious. Secrets are revealed when the vessel is ready. That is why the simple practice matters. Humility, clean speech, a good eye, and peace. These are not small virtues. They are the architecture of a vessel that can receive the inner Torah. And notice the three movements: bless and guard, shine and give grace, lift the face and give peace. First, blessing must be protected. Not every gift is safe if there is no guarding. Then the face shines, meaning divine attention begins to illuminate the person. Then comes the lifting of the face, the deepest intimacy, where shame is removed and peace becomes possible. Peace is not just the absence of conflict. In the Zoharic sense, peace is integration. Hesed and Gevurah, right and left, fire and water, heaven and earth. The soul no longer split against itself. This is why Naso begins with lifting the head and later says, "May Hashem lift his face toward you." At the beginning, we are commanded to lift the human head, At the blessing, God lifts the divine face. When we raise the dignity of the soul, the face of heaven turns toward us. Then the Parsha ends with the offerings of the 12 princes. And on the surface, this section feels repetitive because each prince brings almost the same offering. But the Zohar sees something much deeper. Each prince corresponds to a day, a gate, a boundary, a spiritual configuration. The repetition is not empty repetition. It is the same light passing through 12 tribal vessels. This is important. In spiritual life, people often want to be original. They want their offering to look completely different. But the princes teach that holiness does not always require novelty. Sometimes each person brings the same structure, but with a different root, a different soul, a different gate. One altar, 12 princes. One Torah, many souls. Your offering may look similar to someone else's from the outside, but if it comes from your root, it carries your signature in the upper worlds. That is why comparison is spiritually dangerous. Comparison makes you abandon your gate. But Naso teaches, bring your offering on your day. Do not steal another prince's day. Do not despise your own. So, what is the message of Naso according to the Zohar? Lift the hidden carriers. Purify the camp. Let truth dissolve illusion. Enter consecration when your soul needs it. Bless with love, humility, and a good eye. And bring your offering through your own gate. This week, as the atmosphere of Shavuot surrounds the portion, the teaching becomes even sharper. Receiving Torah is not only about hearing thunder at Sinai. It is about becoming a vessel that can carry the sound after the thunder fades. Let the Torah not remain an event outside you. Let it become the pattern of your breath, your speech, your attention, your choices, and your presence. Anyone can be inspired for a moment. But Naso is about carrying holiness after the moment. The Levites carry the Mishkan. The Nazir carries consecration. The priest carries blessing. The princes carry offerings. And each one of us carries a piece of the divine presence through daily life. So, before this week ends, take one small practice from Naso. Bless someone silently with a good eye. Clean one corner of your inner camp. Withdraw from one dead parent. Speak one sentence with more holiness than usual. Or simply sit quietly and let your head be lifted again, because the soul was never meant to crawl forever. Naso says, lift the head. The Zohar says, when the vessel is lifted with humility, blessing flows through it. And the priestly blessing seals it with peace. May Hashem bless you and guard you. May Hashem shine his face toward you and be gracious to you. May Hashem lift his face toward you and place you within your true shalom. Not only peace around you, peace inside you, peace above you, peace below you, peace in the worlds that your words, your prayers, your silence, and your presence touch. Shalom.